Well, everybody, Ron here with Roy Family Homestead. Today we're going to make honey mead or honey wine. Stay tuned. Okay, everybody, like I said, we are going to make honey mead or honey wine. It is a fermented honey and water drink. It's an alcoholic beverage. A little bit of history behind it. They claim it's the oldest alcoholic beverage in the world. It's been documented that in India it was consumed over 4,000 years ago, which is kind of cool. The Greeks call it the nectar of the gods. They claim it rained down from the heavens as dew, and the bees collected it. So anyway, it has quite a colorful history. But anyway, the ingredients are, this is from our beehives. It's 3.5 pounds of honey, which I've already put in this bowl here and diluted it with warm water. So it would be thin enough to go into the carboy. This is called a carboy, or I think in Australia they call it a Jimmy John, but it's just a glass container for fermenting beverages. But anyway, we're going to have about 25 raisins, and that's going to be food for the yeast. 1 stick of cinnamon, 1 clove, or 1 whole clove, and a teaspoon of yeast. And it's just regular bread yeast. I know somebody out there that makes wine or whatever, they're gasping, but this recipe calls for bread yeast. And then 1 large orange. So let's get started. Basically what I'm going to do is I forgot my funnel. Oh no, here's. I'm going to put in the thinned honey mixture in the carboy here. Try not to spill it. And guys, this really smells good. When I warmed this honey up, it really puts out a beautiful aroma. Okay. Now this is going to make about 1 gallon, give or take, Oh, and something I forgot to tell you. One thing that is vitally important when you're making when you're fermenting an alcoholic beverage, every utensil, anything that you use while preparing this has to be sanitized. Now there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can actually get the little packets of a cleanser that you mix with warm water and then you wash everything with it, or you can use a bleach and dishwashing liquid solution, which is what I did. And then you just rinse it till you cannot smell bleach anymore, and that does a real good job too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slightly zest this just to break the skin up of this orange to get the flavoring, and we're going to cut this in about 8 pieces. And the reason you do that basically is just so it'll fit inside that little mouth there. So we're going to go ahead and get this cut up. And I chose a navel orange because there's no seed in it. It doesn't really matter. And it says 8 pieces. I may have to cut it even smaller to get it in there, but we'll see. And again, every one of my utensils has been sterilized. And we're just going to cram it down in there. Yeah, that's going to fit okay. Let's get these in here. Now they say this has a really wonderful citrus taste. You can taste the honey, you can taste the cinnamon and a little bit of the clove. It's not a real high alcohol content, but I didn't do it for that so much. It's just the fact that I want to see if I can make it. And it's supposed to be really delicious. All right, these other ones in here. And we're going to do 1 stick, 1 cinnamon stick. Just drop it in there. And 1 whole clove, not much. So you can put 2 in there, but I'm going to stick with what the recipe says. Alright, so there we go. Now, once you do this, you want to top it off with water, because this makes 1 gallon. This is going to fill it, you know, there's a mark up here. It's going to fill it clean up to here, and you don't want to overfill this because it's going to foam up and bubble up. So I'm only going to fill it maybe down to here to give it plenty of room, and then after a couple of days, once all that foam and everything dies down, then I'll come back with some more water and go ahead and top it off. So let me get some water. I'll be right back. All right, everybody, got me some water. Like I said, I'm not going to fill this all the way up or to the gallon mark, because we want this to be able to, they call it the foaming frenzy. So I'm going to stop right about there, I think, with my water. Okay. I'm going to put the lid on it, and we're going to aerate this the fancy way. Watch this. This is how you aerate it. You really want to shake it up. Get everything mixed up good. Now, we hadn't put the yeast or raisins in yet. I'm fixing to do that. And what you're doing, again, you're aerating this and getting it mixed up. So I'm going to go ahead and put these raisins in here. And say about 25 or a small handful. Give it another good shake. All right. And you want to make sure that this is about at room temperature. You don't want it too hot or too cold. Actually, you want it right at room temperature. And we're right there. So I'm going to go ahead and add my yeast. And like I said, you want to add a teaspoon of yeast. I'm going to pour in a small one here. Get this poured in there. All right. We're just going to give it a little stir. I'm not going to overshake this. Just to kind of get that yeast mixed up just a little bit. And this is called an airlock. Basically, the reason you put this on there is to so no air gets in, but see, this thing is going to build up pressure. So that pressure's got to go somewhere. If you put a regular top on it, it would just blow it off and you'd have stuff all over your ceiling. So you put this on there, lock it in place, and don't know how well you can see it, but basically there's just a little, I don't know what you call it, a little thing in here. And as it creates pressure, this thing will raise up and let the air out, but it won't let air in, because that will spoil the drink. It'll, like when you're making wine, if you don't do something like this, basically what happens is it'll turn it into vinegar and it'll ruin it. And guys, right now that's it. That's all we're going to do. I'm going to come back. I'm going to wipe this off, it's a little sticky. But I'm going to come back in 2 or 3 days. Check it, make sure that the foaming frenzy is gone. I'm going to go ahead and top it off right here. This is the gallon mark. I'm going to top it off to this mark right here. I'm going to put this back on it, put it in a dark place, and just let it set. After a couple of weeks, maybe a month, about a month, they say it's drinkable. The best way to tell is, you see how dark it is now. If it's clear, and not like water clear, but I mean if it's clear where you can see through it like you can that honey right there. Once it's clear, there's no action going on up here. they say it's ready to drink. But the longer you let it rest or age, the smoother and better it'll be. This is my first batch, so I don't know if I'll be able to wait 5 months, but I may wait, a couple of months before we try it. So I'll get back with you guys in a couple of days. We'll top this off, we'll get it put up, and then we'll just keep this video rolling. This is going to be a long video, not for y'all, but for me, because this thing is probably, 2 months will be 2 months in the making before I actually get to taste it. So I'll see you guys in 2 or 3 days. All right, everybody, I'm back. It's been a couple of days. The foam frenzy has died down, and the fermentation process has started. I'll zoom up here real quick and let you see this. This is the airlock. This is what releases the gases, and if you'll watch, it's about every 12 seconds. Bloop! Did you see it? So that thing raises up, lets the gas out, and then it closes back up so that air can't get back down into the jug and ruin the honey mead or honey wine. There's a lot of action going on. If you look, the cinnamon stick, there's a cinnamon stick and a raisin, and you'll see them move up and down and all that. That yeast is really working on that. And we'll come back in a couple of weeks to check to see if we've still got some fermentation going. Look to see if it's starting to clear up. Once we start, seeing that there's no more fermentation, then we'll bottle this, let it age for a month or 6 weeks or so, and then we'll do a taste test. So we'll see y'all then. Hey everybody, Ron here, I'm back. I just want y'all to see how much activity is going on with this. I mean, there is definitely some fermentation going on. Look at all the bubbles coming up. That was just 1 teaspoon of yeast, and you can smell it now. I can actually smell some of the sweetness. I smell the yeast when it pops up. And look how fast it's doing it now. Before I think it was doing it like every 8 or 10 seconds. I mean, this is like about every 5 or 6 seconds now. So there is a lot of activity. This has only been a few days, but look at all that. And raisins, the oranges. I mean, there's a lot of bubbling going on. I can see now, this is the first time I've made any kind of fermented drink, and I can see why you wouldn't want to put a cap on it, because it'd probably blow it all to pieces. But yeah, guys, we'll be back a little later. We'll keep checking on this, do little short videos like that until that starts to clear up. As you can tell, that's gotten real cloudy, which is a good thing. Once it finishes fermenting, it will definitely start to clear up. So we'll be back. All right, guys, we are about 7 weeks into making the honey mead, and as y'all can tell, it is clearing up. Hopefully we've got about another 7 to 10 days for it to get real clear. Then we'll take it out and start the bottling process. Phew, I can't wait. All right, everybody, it is September 6th. We started brewing this honey mead July 4th, so it's now 2 months and 2 days. The mead has cleared, all the fruit is sunk to the bottom, so the next thing we're going to do is bottle it. I want to give a shout out to Homestead. They have over 200 videos for brewing wine, ciders, beer, and different types of mead. If you want to learn how to do it, go to their YouTube channel. This is going to be completely different from the way they teach. This was an original recipe that I got off the internet, or actually off of YouTube. I watched the guy's out of Australia. The problem is if Brian or Derica sees this, they're going to cringe. because I did not use a hydrometer. As you can tell here, I did not rack this, which is transferring it into another bottle or another jug and letting it sit for a while. But that is not what the recipe. Okay, woo! Sorry about that, guys. Our dog Maverick is laying right up underneath the camera, and he's jarring around a little bit. So, but okay, sorry about that, y'all. But anyway, the recipe that I use, the guy specifically says not to rack them, or not to rack the mead. Wait till all the fruit settles down to the bottom, and then bottle it. So I'm going to do exactly what the recipe says. Don't do what I do. Go to CS Mead and More with Brian and Derica. And I think it's CS Mead is what it's called. And check out their site. Follow what they do. They're very meticulous in the detail, a little bit of history and everything behind it, the type of yeast they use. It's a pretty good, or it's a great channel. All right, so again, everything has been completely sanitized. The bottles have been clean and sanitized, all my equipment and my hands, so everything is clean. I've got this setting up on a bucket because this is a gravity-fed auto siphon, they call it. And then this right here, this is a bottling wand. It's got a little spring-loaded trigger, so when you push it down in the bottle, it fills, and when you lift up, it stops. That way you don't overfill your bottles. Now I'm going to have to get Miss Penny to come over here and help me because this is kind of a two-person job. So Miss Penny, if you'll come over and assist me, please. Say hey, Penny.
Hey, Penny.
All right, so here we go. Going to remove the airlock, and guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. I did take a sanitized turkey baster and pulled a little bit out of there, put it in a glass, and tried it, and it is awesome. Now this is young mead, so it's still got kind of a strong alcohol taste. Everything's not, meld together real good. But once we get it bottled, we're going to let it set probably for about another month, and it should be awesome. But anyway, so here we go. All right, Miss Penny, we'll start the first bottle here. There you go. If you'll just stick that in there and push it all the way to you want to push that all the way to the bottom so that this will vacuum out or create the. Now you don't want to stick this all the way in the bottom, because there's a lot of stuff down there that you don't want to get in your mead.
Oh, it's working.
Get all the bubbles out of it so it'll start. Okay, is it flowing? And look at there, we're flowing. Filling the first bottle up. And another thing too, you don't want to get a lot of air in this because air is not, or oxygen is not good. It can create, it can turn your mead into mead vinegar. So yes, is it feeling good? Awesome.
Slow process on it because there's still a bubble. Some bubbles in it.
Did you get a bubble in it? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big. There you go. Now it's pushed it out. Okay.
Okay, that's good. Okay, yep, that's about right. Now, a little bit more, about half of the. Okay, stop. That's perfect. Okay, pull it out. Look at there. This thing works great. All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and fill the rest of this, and we'll be back.
It's like
no.
it's not like canning.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, everybody, we ended up with 6 full bottles. These are 16-ounce. Actually, they're beer bottles, but I like them because they got the, what do you call it, the pop-on tops. And we got a little bit left here. We did get a little bit of stuff in there, but we're going to taste test this one. And we're just going to go ahead and bottle them up, cap them off, and they are ready to go. Now these, as you can see, nice and clear, beautiful color. And like I said, we did sample just a little bit of it before. I'm gonna make sure I got these lids on right. Okay, all right.
Yep, I'm gonna let you do that.
Yeah, they're kind of hard to, yeah, they're kind of hard to get snapped on, but that's a good thing. You want to make a good seal. Don't want any air in there. Don't want to make vinegar. We want mead. All right, guys. And if Miss Penny will grab that. We don't have a fancy tasting glass, but we do have a little small, I think that's a champagne glass. Ain't that what that is? Champagne flute. Oh, it's a flute. The champagne flute. What's it keyed in? E. Okay, no, anyway. Okay, so we're going to try some of this. Like I said, this did get a little bit of lease in it, but we're going to drink it anyway. Still has good color, just a little bit cloudy because it did pick up a little bit of lease. God, that smells good. Smell that. Is that good? Mm. Oh, wow. That's good. You can taste a little bit of the lease in there. I think that's what it's called. The residue. You can taste it. It tastes a little kind of yeasty, sort of. It's still good. What we actually, like I said, we tasted maybe a half an ounce off the top, so it was real clear. Oh, bless you. You didn't get that. You didn't get that real kind of yeasty taste. This one right here does have a. You can kind of taste the yeast, but it's still really good. I bet it'd be really good cold.
It makes me warm and fuzzy.
Makes you warm and fuzzy, yeah. We're thinking, because we didn't use a hydrometer, guys, I would strongly recommend doing that. That way you can tell when the fermentation is stopped. And you can also calculate what your ABV is. We didn't do that. But by tasting this has got a good little kick to it. So based on research I did, this is going to hit about 11% ABV, which is pretty good for a honey mead or honey wine. So guys, look, there it is. We ended up with 6 full bottles, a partial bottle, which I may consume that tonight. But anyway, and we're going to let these set. My birthday is October 2nd, so we're going to let these set till my birthday, crack one open, you know, and go from there. Well, guys, thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And please check out City Stead. CS Mead, I believe it is on YouTube. They got a great YouTube channel. And they're going to teach you the right way to make mead. And as always, y'all have a great day.